Hi everyone, we are two spring 2025 neighborhood media interns. My name is Jackie,
And I'm Lizzie.
and we're here today on Church Street asking people what their opinions are of the proposed item on the ballot, whether or not firearms should be allowed in establishments that serve alcohol, like bars, restaurants, etc. So let's hear what people think.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting proposal that brings up some questions because I can see both upsides and downsides to having firearms in a place like that, especially if like people are getting drunk and becoming violent after being intoxicated. But I can also see the fact that you wouldn't want those people to have access to firearms. So I think it's a difficult question to like look at whether the upsides outweigh the downsides and whether you want to like promote businesses being able to defend themselves or if you want to like leave that to law enforcement. I would say personally I would want to leave that to law enforcement and not have firearms in businesses that sell alcohol because, or rather any businesses, because the people running those businesses more than likely aren't trained for killing people who need to be like taken out because of dangers to the other people around them, and that should be left to people who are like trained and professionals in that area.
Thank you. Are you surprised that this item is on the ballot, or?
I am somewhat surprised that that would come up. I would think that, like, just judging by my previous impressions of this area, it would be just accepted that people would probably have firearms in their businesses, and it's interesting to me that enough people have spoken out against it that it would be a ballot issue.
Whew, I have complicated feelings on it. I think that, I guess within the way that society currently functions, I think it makes sense. But I do think that like gun violence or violence itself is not an issue that could really be legislated away. I think that violence is a symptom of the deeper hurt that society experiences through systems like capitalism and patriarchy and racism. I think that is where, interpersonal violence stems from. So I think in sort of a thinking about things on a day-to-day level, like, sure, why not? I don't think it could hurt, but in a broader level, like I think we should be thinking about, where is gun violence or interpersonal violence stemming from? And also, who are we giving the guns to? We're giving the guns to the police and military, and what harm are they going to commit with their guns? So I think, sure, on like a surface level, sounds like a good idea to me, reduce gun violence, but we should also be thinking about sort of gun violence in a broader and more systemic level as well. I work right across the street from Town Meeting TV, so if y'all ever around Pathways Community Center, it's right across the street from Town Meeting TV. Come in, say hello. You might even be able to interview some folks there. So, yeah, stop by.
So, do you think that places with liquor license should be able to have firearms inside, or anybody should be able to carry firearms?
No, I don't believe that. I think we saw what happened last year with Red Square. They did the best they could with frisking people and everything like that, and someone still had a firearm in their purse and ended up doing a violent event that was fatal. So obviously we all know how alcohol affects people's brains. Hopefully you think that it's for good times, but in reality, if there are things that can affect other people's lives while you're on alcohol, that usually happens. So there's no reason for firearms to be in bars. I always say taser first, bat first for the staff maybe, but we all know that guns only do one thing, and that's harm people. So.
Well, I was just informed about this issue, and it sounds like a terrible idea for people to be drinking and have concealed weapons.
Well, first off, I'm not a Burlington voter. I live in Colchester. However, I think that, especially in this time, where do I look at you or?
Either one, it's all right.
I'm serious. I mean business. I think in this time, so specifically, Black people, trans people, and honestly anyone who is not a white male should arm themselves if they feel like they want to, if they have the capacity to. However, in a place that serves liquor, And there's really no like regulation on like how much liquor is served and how belligerent folks are. I think that gets muddy and complicated. So maybe they could like, also there is like in place, I go to ESOX frequently actually. Shout out ESOX. It's like on the south side of Church Street. And I call it the Black Bar because like that's where a lot of my community hangs out. And not to blow up their spot, but some folks there, they are armed and they just hang out outside and they're part of the bar experience as much as the people inside. Like also like it's fun, more fun outside than inside any bar, right? So I just think like we really need to just like take care of each other and like put those in place. And also like we have the right to bear arms and like every public place has its like like laws and it's for the good of our people, right? So I think that's a bigger question. Like, what is the good of our people?
Definitely should be banned for sure. Yeah. Had no idea that was up for debate. I would be interested to know like what the argument is to have firearms in a place where people are liquid at that point.